So won't you come on in the room? Speed it up, y'all. Come on in the room. Whoa, come on in the room. Yeah, we got so much to talk about. I said we got so much to talk about. I said we got so much to talk about. So won't you come on in the room? Come on, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Thank you so much for joining me. We have a lot to talk about. Girl, what is going on? What is going on? Oh my gosh. I was literally in my car when everybody started sending me all the Bravo stuff, and I was like, I gotta get home. I gotta get home. Oh my God. OMG. So let me just check in with y'all, and then we will hop right into it. We're first going to start off with the Real Housewives of New York. We are going to wrap up their reunion part 2. Guys, I don't know. I do not know. And then we're going to get into Bravo's reckoning. What the hell is going on? Like 2023, I just feel like every year is more dreadful than the year before. Like, I just feel like every year since 2020, every year that comes in is like, oh girl, I'm gonna outdo the year before me. And I'm like, please don't outdo. Just chill. Can we just chill for a minute? My God, today. And I'm still here. What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? OMG. Hey, she got 2 kids, D. What's up, Black Lavender? How you doing? Hey, Vodka. How you doing? She got 2 kids, D said, wait, LOL. Let me come back later because I know you're going to drag Uber, and I agree with her a little bit. Oh, you might want to stay. Hey, Multi, how are you? Hey, Bianca. AV Bro said 1 hour to go, guys. About to watch part 2 of what? The reunion? Hey, Spency, how are you? NTR said, hey, sorry, fam. Hey, Nikki, ready for y'all to be the background of me while trying to make us sweet potato pecan cinnamon roll. Wow. Let me know how it goes. Cinnamon rolls, like the assembly to assemble them is mad easy. Getting the calculations correct, woo! That's a task. That's a task. How are you guys? Hey, E for Empathy said, hey, Nikki.Star fam, how y'all doing? Anyone dressing up tomorrow? I'm a Hallelujah kid, so I'll be inside. I want to do some fun stuff, but I'm not leaving my house tomorrow. Juicy said, hey, fam, hey, Nikki, ready for a time as fun and informative as What is going on? You know what? I should have put that in here too. This is Bravo stuff. I should have put that in here too. OMG. I might just do a hot topics with that one. We'll see what else comes out. Hey Sarah, how are you? Hey Missy, how are you? Hey Eva, thank you for being here. Hey Caroline, how are you? BravoCon, I do not know. I think it may be this fall 2024, maybe. I'm not sure. It would be, I don't know. It would be best for them to do it in the fall. I wouldn't want to do it in New York in the summer. I think that's where it's going to be. Hey Jessica Ravick, how are you? Finally caught alive. Thank you for being here. AP Bro said, come on in the room, Starbucks, Africa, Nikki. It's sponsorship for me. Did they reach out also? We don't have that in Canada. No, it's not sponsored. And no, they did not reach out. And you know what? They don't need to. They got some stuff they got to deal with before I can ever get involved. So it's okay. It is okay. Hey, Mama Star. Thank you for being here. Kayla said, oh, not on right on time. You sure are. You sure are. Thank you. It was so much better this morning. That's the thing about natural hair. It does whatever it wants. It was so cute this morning. I filmed the video and everything. But I still love it. Thank you, Spency. Hey, Megan, how are you? I am. This is the thing. because Bachelor in Paradise comes on the same day as Golden Bachelor, I prioritize Golden Bachelor because I do it with my mom. I think I might just do Bachelor in Paradise tomorrow because I have the notes for it and everything. It's just finding the time. I think I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, it'll be Halloween. Are you guys going to be on live tomorrow? Because I was going to do that in Love After Lockup. Let me know if y'all are going to be on live tomorrow. Then I'll come on. But if not, I'll be inside watching all the heathens have fun. Hey, so Steph. Hey, Sudalim, how are you? Thank you for shouting out the mods. Hey, Nona, how are you? Hey, Candace, how are you? Kayla said, I even caught the Come On In the Room song, which I've caught a couple of other YouTubers biting off Nikki's intro. Since when they say come on in the room, listen, your girl is inspiring people. Like, that's who I am. We don't get mad. We just say thank you. Thank you for being inspired. Thank you for being inspired. Hey, Asatu, how are you? Hey, JS, 2023 was for character development. Listen, let me tell you something. The year is wrapping up, and I am not that girl that like once a year to slow down. I'm always like, yes, come on next year. I'm not trying to rush nothing. I'm not trying to rush nothing. Hey, Pink Petals, how are you? Asatu said, well, I do not like Uba, and I know my opinion on what's that? HR. Hey, love like you are. Oh, okay. Thank you. Asatu said, I don't like Uba. I do not like Uba, and I know that is not a popular opinion. Ciao. So Steph said, Atlanta clubs are in shambles right now, as they should be. It was time. It was time. I have not lived there for a very long time, but my God, today, the Black-owned restaurants are basura. We have to tell the truth and shame the devil. We have to tell the truth and shame the devil. That's why you guys know, like in LA, I'm always reviewing a restaurant. In Atlanta, I haven't done nothing because I don't want to get jumped. I gotta tell the truth. Just simply said the reunion could have been a Watch What Happens Live episode. I absolutely agree. Oh, it's this weekend in Vegas. Oh, I was way off. No, I'm not going to BravoCon. I got a show that week. I got a show that week. Not this weekend, but coming up. So, and I'm going to be in rehearsals for them. So, no. Hey, Nisha. Nisha said, hey, I made it. Love your recaps more than I like the reunion and shows. Reunion. Love is Blind. The hosts on the show are blindly biased. I just don't think they're hosts. That's the thing. Reality TV hosts. You know what I mean? I just don't think that they get what is needed for that position. But they signed a nice contract, so good for them. Good for them. Hey, Kate Fred, how are you? Miss you. Thank you for being here. This season is so good. I'm so mad that I missed so many episodes, but we're going to catch up. Jessica Rabbit said, pardon the interruption, Nikki. I forgot to mention, I saw you posted the apple croissant turnover on Instagram today. I've been stalking Starbucks and they're still sold out. I think they're done, to be quite honest with you. A lot of people are saying that their Starbucks is saying they're done for the season. So I think they're done. Mama Star says, as beautiful as you are, Nikki.Star, I don't understand. Keep praying, Mama. Keep praying. Love Like You Are said, the fake hairstylist will be next to get Keith lead. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Thank you, Jalen Sienna. Let's get into the Real Housewives of New York. I'm going to hold my opinions for the end, but guys, we just have to talk about this show. We just got to be honest about this show. But let's get into part two of the reunion. So in my opinion, Sai and Jenna, Sai and Aaron gaslit everyone the entire reunion. They barely took accountability for anything. And when they did take accountability, they like quickly apologized and like moved on to something else. So it was just like nobody could rest in an apology or rest in and healing, right? They were just like, yeah, what I did was wrong. I'm sorry. No. You were terrible to somebody the entire season. It's not an I'm sorry and move on. We really have to deal with that, but they just did not want to deal with anything. And Angie just let him. I don't know what was going on with him, but I just felt like he, you really stick it to the Atlanta girls, right? You don't give them a break. You really stuck it to Vanderpump Rules, but like with New York, I don't know. Maybe they're your babies and you're very protective over them because it's their first season and they're coming in after a reboot. Maybe that's what it is. But I was just like, I don't know where Andy was this reunion. I really, really don't know. And it's so weird that Jessel has to continue to prove that she didn't grow up with a lot of money on a show about women who have money. This is the thing. This is why I feel like this cast also, for some people, myself included, is not really landing, because where is the money? Where is the money? Jenna's the only one that looks like she has it, right? Where is the coin? We need to see it. And if Jessel tries to talk about the coin, they like middle class and working class jump her so that she feels bad about having anything. And I'm like, this is a show where you're supposed to talk about those things. This is a show where you're supposed to like gas yourself up for being wealthy. We don't have that on this show. I'm like, this show's supposed to be about money. Why are you mad at her for having some? And when Sai and Aaron like looked at each other, when Jessel was just like, oh, I grew up, comfortable, and they were like, what the hell is going on? This is not the MTV's The Challenge. This is the Real Housewives of New York. You're supposed to talk like that. Everybody is supposed to have grown up comfortable. I don't know what's going on. I said diversity, Andy. I did not say broke. Like, I don't mean diversity in money. I'm talking about diversity in culture. That's it. They all need to have money across the board. Let's move on. Sai, she didn't have a good season. She was not really liked. I will say that. Hold on, the lip gloss is glossing. I'm sorry. I'm eating it. She didn't have a good season, right? Hopefully, if she comes back again, she could redeem herself. Who knows? But the story about her mom, her experience, that is just heartbreaking. And Sai, I'm not trying to relate. I'm just saying I understand. Because this is the thing. When you are the child of an addict, you blame everything on yourself. Like you feel like, why am I not enough for you to be clean? To live a normal life, get off the drugs or get off the alcohol. Like, why am I not good enough for you to be good, for you to be better or an actual good parent, right? Or just a good person in general to yourself. So, we see a lot of that, and we heard a lot of that in her talking about her mom. And it's a sad place to be, but there's really nothing you could do. You will always blame yourself. People can be like, oh, it's not your fault. You didn't do anything, but you just always will. You always will feel that way. No matter if it's right or wrong, you'll just always feel that way. So everybody was like really encouraging her and telling her that she did a good job. But I'm like, y'all don't understand. Like, y'all can't take that. You're not going to be able to take that away from her, because this has been with her since she's been a child. And she was talking about how her mom was just, like when she was in high school, police officers would come and get her and tell her to get her mother. She's passed out in Central Park. And then when her mom kept on getting kicked out of places, and especially rehab, because she's an addict, you know what I mean? And she just could not get herself healthy or sober. And she moved in with Sai and her husband and their children. And she was just, just a mess, just a drunken mess around the kids. And, it's just really hard for her family to live with her mom like that. And her husband told her to kick her mom out. And she did it. And 3 months later, her mother died. And she blamed herself for her mother dying. And I'm just like, that's a tough place to be. But she's probably going to walk with that for the rest of her life. she's probably going to walk with that shame and blame for the rest of her life. And I wouldn't be surprised if she holds some resentment towards her husband. Um, because I don't think she would have done, I don't think she would have put her mother out had it not been for his encouragement. Now, this is not an attack on that man. He was protecting his family and he was doing what he thought was right. You cannot blame yourself for the actions of somebody who is sick, somebody who is wrapped up in their addiction. Like, you just can't blame yourself. You can't, but you will, right? Especially if you're the child, you will absolutely blame yourself, but it's not your fault. Like, I hope that he doesn't feel bad. I know, I mean, I felt bad listening to that. So I don't know how he would feel hearing his wife say that to the world, that he told her to kick out her mother who died 3 months later. I don't know if that's going to cause any friction. You know, I hope it doesn't, because he was just doing what he thought was right in protecting his family. It's unfortunate and it's really, really sad. It does explain why she is the way she is, because she had to grow up very fast. You know what I mean? She had to be the mom, you know, to her own mother. So it does explain why she doesn't have any tolerance. She said that in the reunion. She was just like, I don't have tolerance for adults and their mess, right? Because she's had to deal with two adults, even as a child, in their mess for so much of her life. She don't feel like dealing with it with anybody else. And to be honest with you, I really got her. Like, I get why she is not coming off very likable to a lot of people. I think we needed, for at least for me, needed that reference to understand why she maneuvers the way she maneuvers, because it will just come off as a mean girl. But realizing that literally every response that Sai makes is a trauma response gives you a better understanding. Not saying that her behavior is right. I'm just saying I went, okay, when she explained her experience with her mom, because she talked about it a bit on the show. And I also didn't know that her mother had died like 5 months before they started filming. So this was very fresh for her. So not only is she responding out of trauma, she's also mourning. And especially if it's a parent, you're going to mourn for the rest of your life. But this is a fresh mourning. So I get her and understand her a little bit better. Again, not excusing her behavior and how she treated people, specifically Jessel, but I understood her a bit better. And I think for me, I needed that context to get why she reacted and treated people the way that she did. Poor thing. I still don't know if I want to see more of her, but we'll get to that later. Bryn. Let me put these. I don't know if you guys watch this show or not, so let me put the people up while I'm talking about them. This is who I was just talking about. Who the hell is I? Oh, forget it. I'll delete her picture, I guess. Let's just get into Bryn. Bryn, listen. I'm not biracial, so I can't speak to her experience. I will say, when Andy spoke to her and about the hair salon scene, and he said that resonated with a lot of people, especially Black women. And then he looked at her and he said, how was your experience, being an African American woman on the show? And I was like, has she ever said that? Right? Maybe I missed it, and I'm being very honest. I was like, oh, okay. And then her response was, I love it when people ask me how I identify as Black. And then she said, I feel it now. And she did like this movement, and I was like, oh. Listen. Again, that's not my experience, so I can't speak to it. I will say, as somebody who's been Black from the beginning, that little segment hit me in my ancestors. Here is why. Jokingly, my culture is not a costume, right? It just felt like, for me, I don't believe that Black is something you feel. I think it's just who you are, right? I don't think it's something that comes up on you at a certain part in your life. I think it's how you experience life, and how others treat you, and where you are put in certain places, in certain boxes, and in certain sects of, let's be honest, a white supremacist society. That is how you identify. Like Blackness, is especially Black Americanness, is so layered. There's so much there, and I don't know. Like I do know, but I don't know if I can say it, because I was just like, you feel it now. I needed more clarity, and I am trying to understand. So I am going to say this is what I hope she meant, was that now later on in her life, she can comfortably identify as a Black woman after struggling for so long. It didn't sound like that, but I'm hoping that's what you meant, because I can feel it now. That hit me in my ear. I gotta be honest. I was like, you can feel it. What? I don't know. Biracial Star family, you let me know what you think she meant. Because I didn't, that didn't sit right with me. It didn't. But I'm hoping that the understanding of that was, I am comfortable in this identity now. I wasn't comfortable at first, but now as an adult woman, and through my experiences and, I guess, education and relationships, I have come to be okay with this is who I am. We'll see. We will see. So Uba, what was going on with Uba? What was going on with Uba this whole season? So Bryn and Aaron are like trying to make up and trying to be besties again, and they're just like, Andy's just like, so where are you guys at? And Aaron was just like, oh no, we just go after each other, but we love each other, we're sisters. And Uba was just like, I need a bucket so I can throw up. They're both being so fake. And Andy was like, you think they're being fake? She was like, well, Aaron is being very fake. And then Bryn was getting upset with her for not allowing her to make up with Aaron. And then Andy again moved on from like everything that Uba was saying. I think he was kind of annoyed with her for interrupting, but I'm just like, there's not much happening at this reunion. Let's listen to Uba. But he pretty much just moved on from that interaction. Now, let's also get into the Uba and the Aaron debacle about the phone. When I reviewed this season, I thought that Uba was doing a bit much. I did try to relate to her somewhat, right? Now finding out context. I feel like a lot of issues happen within this group. A lot of the issues was just miscommunication. And I think it was so much miscommunication because they're not really friends. They're coworkers trying to act as besties on a TV show. And so there's so much miscommunication because they don't know each other, right? So Aaron decides to, steal Uba's phone. And she said it was for 45 minutes, right? We find out now at the reunion that it was like half a day that this girl had a phone, that they all agreed that it was hours, right? The whole cast agreed. So Aaron had to finally be like, oh yeah, well, it was hours. At first she was lying and saying 45 minutes, but the whole cast was like, no, girl, you had it for a long time, right? Even without the Uba context of her family is not here in America with her. And so they said, check in with us every morning and every night so we know that you are safe. That's completely understandable. But even without that context, you steal my phone in a foreign country to me, and I have literally everything on my phone. I would be upset, right, when I find out that you did that as a joke, because it doesn't appear to be on the same level as a push in the pool. So I get her being upset. And then with the extra layer of context with her family wanting her to check in. And then also with her expressing to everyone that, hey, I'm a bit frustrated right now because I didn't like what she did. So I'm not going to talk to her right now. I'm going to calm down. And then I'm going to pull her aside and have a conversation. We didn't see that, right? Everybody confirmed that that's what Uba said. We didn't see that. All we saw was Aaron saying, oh, don't say my name, and Uba flying off the handle and looking like, what is going on? but but when she explained it, she was in a space. She didn't feel like playing with her, but she was chill and she was cordial and she was going to talk to her later, but she was still a little heated because she didn't find that funny because of how important her phone is to her. And I get it. I absolutely get it. Again, she could never talk to me like that, but I absolutely understand her frustration. She doesn't seem so unhinged with the context. And context matters. Context matters, especially at this reunion, because whew, child, we need a context to understand these ladies. I will say, even in me understanding Uber, I will say she does have a short fuse. She really, really does. She has a short fuse. I understood, when she said, don't say that about Black women, just because I'm expressing myself in a certain way does not mean that I'm angry or, you need to be afraid of me. I absolutely understand that. That aside, you got a temper, Uber. You got a temper. You really, really do. But she did explain that sometimes she's assertive and sometimes, she does have an attitude. These ladies need to know when to read her right. I agree with that. Here's why. Let's put a pin in that for a second. I do appreciate how Sai let Andy know that the angry Black woman experience is not her experience. Because Andy said, Sai, how as a Black woman does that make you feel when you hear people talk about the angry Black woman? What is your experience? And Sai was like, that's not my experience. I think you need to talk to Uba. I appreciate that because she was very honest. She was just like, that's not my experience. That doesn't happen to me. That's something that happens to Uba. Now back to Uba. I do agree that the ladies need to understand when she's being assertive and when, she's angry or upset about something. Here is why. They've been able to understand that with Sai, right? They've been able to understand that with Aaron. They're even able to understand it with Jessel, who has had justified, upset moments, right? But everybody, aside from Jenna, has had a moment where they have lashed out, been unreasonable, specifically Sai. She's had more than anybody. She screams, she yells, she runs off, she cusses people out, right? Nobody has ever said that they were afraid of her. Nobody has ever cried. Like Brent cried about their friendship at the reunion, but nobody has ever cried and said that they were afraid of Sai, gave her a spicy name or anything like that. Everybody was able to deal with Sai and move on. Why not Uba, right? Yes, she has a temper. So does Sai. So does Aaron. Why, when Uba gets upset, does everybody all of a sudden start freaking out and running for cover and crying and needing protection? What is so different about Uba? Exactly. Because I'm like, yeah, she got a temper. So does Sai, so does Aaron. All three of them heifers got a temper. Ain't nobody afraid of Sai or Aaron, but everybody's afraid of Uba. Why? Because she's tall. She's 10 pounds soaking wet with coins in her pocket. You could knock her over with a feather. Stop playing. We know why everybody's afraid of Uba. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil. I think that because Uba speaks several languages, you know what I mean? And she's of a different culture, like everybody on this cast are. They misinterpret her and don't understand her a lot. And I can sense a lot of frustration from Uba and trying to explain herself. She mixes up some references. She gets a bit tongue-tied because I feel like there's a lot of languages going on and she's trying to interpret and, find the right language to express to these ladies how she's feeling when, because of how she looks, they're always going to misunderstand her. And I think if she is able to calm down, I hate the fact that she has to do that, right? But I think because of her emotions, the argument gets lost because she can't fully put it together because she's just, in that space. And I just want her to be able to get that argument out clearly because she has such a presence where they will be able to hear it, even if she's speaking in this tone. I understand her raising her voice. I understand her being upset and working in this environment. I absolutely get it. But I just want her to just, take a chill pill, get everything out. And then you can raise hell after. But let them heifers know how you feel. Don't let them try to go on with misunderstanding you. Let them know what it is and then fly off the handle. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. And Bren, nobody's afraid of you. That was so unnecessary. Again, side cuss air Bren out. Bren never said that she was going to put her in, basically never said that she was going to kill her. But you say that to Uba, who was saying to you, let me speak, because you're saying these side comments, speaking over her, minimizing how she feels about a situation and antagonizing her. And all she says to you is, let me speak. And you say, oh, don't do that to me. I'm half Black and I'm half Irish. You put people in the hospital. I put them in the graveyard or something like what was all that? Why did you have all that heat for her and none of that heat for Side? Every time you talk to Side, you cry, but you ready to kill Uba? Really? And of course you were bluffing. Please. But we know why Uba is met with so much aggression. We get it. Let's wrap this up. This was such a weird reunion. I did not understand. Everybody hated each other. And then at the end, when it was time to get their drinks, everybody loved each other. Even Uba. I love everybody here. I'm like, how do you love everybody here? And you just saying to Aaron that she's fake and that you need a bucket to vomit. What is going on? Are y'all acting? I was just very confused. I was very confused. Like, yes, at the reunion, people make up and they squash beefs or whatever, but there's still some residue. I don't understand what this is. Y'all went through this whole season. Y'all said the most vile things about each other, and now y'all love each other and y'all hang out. Like, right after an argument, they were like, oh, yeah, we're fine. We were just hanging out yesterday in the Hamptons. Why do you have all this energy now? Is this a performance? If that is, that makes sense, but I'm just like, I'm confused. This was just, I think that for me, the ladies started off very strong, but I'm not interested in seeing them. I don't feel like it's not that I don't feel. I know I won't miss this cast. And listen, it's the first season. Who knows? Maybe they need the second, the third, and the fourth, or the fifth to get it together. But I don't think that that's necessary. I think with the right cast, it just works. With the right cast, it just works. And I don't think Bravo has found their formula yet. I think they need to go back to auditioning. I think we need, I know it's going to be very hard to find people who don't watch Housewives, but we need people who don't need this show. You need big personalities and people who are not relying on this Bravo check. That's what you need. I don't know what was told to the New York ladies that they can just be whatever. They don't have to fill any shoes. You do. We got 13 years of a really great cast of women. Some we liked, some we disliked, right? But they worked well together. And I just have yet to see it with the Real Housewives of New York cast. Again, they started off strong. I don't know what happened. The stories just fell. It didn't make any sense. Jessel is a standout. Jenna is a name. I don't know if there's a reason to bring the other ladies back. And y'all know I hate to take a check out of another woman's hands, but I don't know. I don't know what could be done to salvage this for me. Now, I know there are people who love this cast. I know there are people who love this season. I'm just saying, for me, I'm not going to miss them. And I hate that there are so many housewife shows and we only look forward to Beverly Hills and Potomac. That says a lot. Like the other ladies, y'all got to get it up and running. That's all I have to say about this, the Real Housewives of New York reunion part 2. What do you guys have to say? I'm going to talk for about 10 or so minutes, talk to you guys for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'm going to get into the Bravo Reckoning article. Let's get into it. CM said, Uba's getting a weird edit. I also don't like Erin. She's too off. Erin was just very weird. Erin was nasty the whole season and then came on the show and was like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I love you. We're best friends. I'm like, There was such a disconnect from what we saw on the show to what we saw on the reunions. And I feel like the ladies are just like trying to repair their image so they can look good for another season. But it's like, I would much rather you have just stayed consistent, because now I'm confused. I'm confused. Miss Gigi said, I watched both parts of the reunion. Oh, I should have watched it on Peacock. I should have watched it on Peacock. Hey, make it make sense. Make it make sense. Said Sai behaved like she had 100 million followers. These constant influencer pictures are mad annoying. To be honest with you, I would have wanted to see more of her influencer life, since it was a big deal. I didn't know it was controversial. I did not know. I would have wanted to see her do more. We didn't really even see that. Make it make sense also said, I'd rather have Jessel play down her wealth than the new girl on Potomac who's taking pictures with her security and tagging them. Wealth whispers. She screams thirsty. Miss Gigi88 said, the people with real money don't want to be on these shows. Very true. So I have to settle for who they get. I agree. Missy said, no answer that Jessel gives is good enough for Aaron and Sai. I don't know why they were making it a competition. You know what? There was so much context left out, because now that we know that Jessel's husband basically has like a food blog where he rates food around the world, it makes sense that he's going to Vietnam to get a banh mi. Before, it didn't make any sense. And I was even on Jessel's side, but I was like, this sounds really weird. But knowing that, one, he's taking flights for points, I'm telling you, that's very normal. That is very normal, especially if you are a Delta Club rewards member or whatever. My sisters do that all the time. All the time. So that made sense, but I was just like, going to Vietnam to get a banh mi and then fly right back? No, he's doing food tours because that's like his side hustle. That makes sense. Why wasn't that mentioned? Miss GG88 said, I think she will resent her husband to some degree for telling her that her mom has to go. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I hope she understands that he believed that he was doing the right thing. He probably was. You know, like, you cannot blame yourself for the actions of an addict. Kayla said, some of the stuff Sai said was just mean, and I understand why she apologized, but apologizing for the little petty shade made her look like a people pleaser. Lean into the villain sometimes. This is the thing. She leaned too hard. So now she has to pull back a lot. If she's going to be the villain, she needs to find a happy medium. She got two kids. Z said, yeah, I empathize with Sai, but nope, not an excuse. Trauma response or not. She has no empathy for others, but everyone has empathy for her. Well, she said that she was working on it. Crazy Homebody Girl said, if she wants people to have patience for her, she needs to have patience for other people. Agree. Momi said, this season, Rhony gave an opportunity to women who seem to be probably upper middle class. Jen is a lone lady with actual wealth. The other ladies seemed very uncomfortable with that. They did. Remember, they got mad at her for flying first class, and I'm like, y'all all are not flying first class? What are we watching? Like, what are we watching? Like, can we be honest? Is that something that a Black person would say? Like, you don't talk bad to, don't talk like that to me. I'm Black. No, we'll shout out a neighborhood. We will. Yeah, I don't know. Well, maybe she's starting to feel a bit more. I don't know. I need her to explain that. I really, really do, because I was like, that made me so uncomfortable. Drewski says she's figuring it out, giving Bryn grace because no one taught her LOL. That's true. I will absolutely give her grace, but this is the thing. You know how to use your Blackness for violence. Who taught you that? Me either. That was news to me. I was like, oh, I would have loved to have found that out on the show. Like, what is going on? Cece said, I think her growing up in an all-white area with a white grandma, she had indenture issues. All right. So Steph says she feels it because she's getting the validation from Black women that she never got growing up. Okay, that's a new perspective. That's the thing. We never got that either. What made it real? What was the moment? Did you get stopped at Bloomingdale's? Like, what happened? Did Target security usher you to the back? What was the moment that made you feel it? I guess for me, because I can never take a day off from Blackness. Like, I'm Black outside of my culture and inside of my culture. You know what I mean? Like, dark-skinned Black people, we can never take a day off. We never get a break. We are Black 24/7, the good and the bad. Miss GT88 said, Brenda's still learning to embrace her Black side. Like she said, she grew up with white people. CC said, I think a lot of biracial kids suffer with that. The H said, I don't think Brenda really grew up Black, so she's just discovering it. Momi said, Brent said that she used to be ashamed to be Black. Okay. I think she may just now be connecting with her Black heritage, but I hope that it's not just based on her beauty shop visits. See, and I think that that's just the thing. I don't know. Interesting. Drewski said, I think perhaps she's learning to embrace her Blackness and being biracial. What is what she means? Aside from that salon time, she never got a lot of Black lady time, right? At what point, right, are you then responsible as an adult to do the work? She's almost 40. Like, I get the whole growing up child thing, right? I understand that. And not being around people who look like you or being raised by people who look like you. I get that. But then at what point? Because this is the thing. I'm just going to say it. It seems very, in my opinion, very calculated that now that you're on a TV show, you suddenly identify as Black, right? Now you're feeling it on this TV show. I felt the same way about a homegirl on the Real Housewives of Orange County. She was unhinged and she was a good time, but I always felt like, or I believe that the Blackness for her was a good storyline for the TV show. Because all of the stunts that she was pulling in the name of Blackness, she's not doing that now that she's no longer on the show. Black people are so nice. We are so kind. We are so forgiving. We are so loving. We gotta be on guard, guys. She got two kids. He said, Nikki, I seen Brent for who she was, and Brent gives you biracial who raised by a white family and never really cared for Black. The homeless advocate said Brent obviously dates Matt Lantern looking men and not men that look like coffee Cerebo. That told me what she truly identifies as. Maybe that's why Andy was paying her dust. Maybe that's why. She got two kids. D also said, and when she said I'm Black and Irish, like it means she's tough. It's like she thinks Black is fighting and being ratchet. And she feels the same way about Irish heritage. The fighting Irish. So, but it was just like, why would you? Like, you would get beat up saying that. Anyway, Malty said, I think she meant she is more comfortable saying that she's Black and she feels more welcome in Black spaces. She probably feels seen in Black society at 40. Okay. And I like Brent. I like that. It was just that moment. I was like, interesting. Asante said Uber was annoying and the black woman and Black women excusing her aggressivity by calling it assertive is making me roll our eyes. Most of us would be fighting her if we were Aaron. Well, that's what Uba said about herself. And I do think that like you heard me say she could talk to me like that, right? But I do think that she gets treated differently in the group. Like that's just the truth. Momi said Uba clocked in at the reunion. She pays attention to what folks say on social. She must have figured that she needed to not only turn up for TV purposes, but possibly to also get her contract renewed. Yeah, everybody does that at the reunion, but I don't think it was working for her. Yes, Crazy Homebody Girl. They're not friends. So it was like everything was a miscommunication because y'all don't know each other. Y'all do not know each other. Spency said, as a biracial with Black American mom and Latin dad, I don't get it. LOL. I think it's weird that she never felt it, especially when she was especially if she was raised by her white family. She got two kids. D said, y'all, I'm biracial. I have plenty of biracial family members. I know what I see in Bryn. Y'all can't tell me nothing. and when I'm shown to be right, listen, I'm not saying nothing. I'm just like, it mighty convenient now that you're on a TV show, Noella. Asatu said, why were Uba and especially Bryn using their origin to act hard, and who was scared of Black and Irish and Somali girls? They lost it, especially Bryn, who made sure to be quiet after that. Well, see, this is the thing. I'm from Philly. Them Black and Irish girls fight. Have you ever met an Irish person from North Philadelphia? Baby. You're getting jumped. Missy said, I understand Uba needing to check in with her family, but I can't fully rock with her reaction because she misplaced and lost it after that. Like I said, I understood a bit better with context. Again, y'all, she couldn't talk to me like that. So I get what you guys are saying too, but I'm like, if they're not friends, you as a coworker you're not taking my phone for an hour. Especially my phone where you don't know if I'm talking nasty to one of my men's on there or if I'm talking about you in a group chat. You don't know my money stuff is on there. Absolutely not. Don't play with my phone. Don't play with my phone. Sai was like, that is not my experience, Andy. I said, I know that's right. I know that's right. I think he's just trying to clock in and check in more because it has been said that he doesn't, really, ask the right questions. So I think he's trying to do that without replacing himself, but he just can't, he can't ask those questions. Absolutely. I will say it gave more context and I got a bit more understanding. Unapologetically, Romel, but yeah, it was a snooze fest. Unapologetically, Romel also said, I didn't like how Bryn was acting tough with Uba. Like, shut the F up and let her talk. Bryn be picking and choosing when she wants to bring her Black side out, and I peeped that. It was just very weird. I'm like, why are you so aggressive with Uba? Let me not say that a Black woman is aggressive. Miss Gigi88 said Bryn was being so irritating. What? Again, yeah, I don't know. She couldn't. I didn't get it. And guys, the crazy thing was they were all doing this, fighting and cussing each other out and crying and saying terrible things. Uba and Bryn about to fight, and then the next thing you know, they're hugged up at the end of the reunion, talk about they love each other. What? This was so weird. This was so weird. It was weird. Weird. Asatu said, I did not like how Sai and Aaron were able to get away with it. Why didn't Bryn say, but you talked on Jessel's husband when Sai stopped her by saying, I'm not talking about your husband. Yeah, Bryn was trying to help out Jessel, but Jessel ain't want it. This cast is weird, guys. Kayla said they were all fake and on apology tours. I think it was to seem like they have a group chemistry. Okay, that's good. That's good. She got two kids. He said, I'm telling y'all, Bryn has unhandled anger towards her black family. Y'all gonna realize when she's problematic in the future. She thinks being black means fighting or getting loud. She is performing. Woo! Bryn, I hope we're wrong. NTR said, like how hard it is to understand that someone doesn't want to be called out for their race when doing a job. Miss GG88 said, I want to give them grace. Nobody likes Potomac when they started either. It took them a few seasons to get their stride. Following the footsteps of the original cast is hard. In defense of Potomac, they weren't a housewife show in the beginning. It was supposed to be like paper bag tests, ladies who lunch. It really wasn't supposed to be a housewife show. It like became a defunct housewife show. And then they were able to find their footing later. They didn't have their house was built on different land, right? And then it was uprooted and put on another land. They just had to find it. This house for Rhony was built, and it's a good house. The people who was in it just got evicted. Hope I'm making sense. Let me get a couple more, and then I'm going to get my super chats, and then we're going to get into the article. So Steph said on a trip episode, Uber kept saying that Erin had her phone for hours, and Erin tried to, nobody really listened to Uber and focused on what Erin said, which was a lie. And she had been waiting the entire season and got to the reunion and was just like, I was telling you guys this is what it was, but nobody believed me. They believed Erin. Listen, Uber got a temper. She can't talk to me like that, but she has a point. These ladies treat her differently, and we all know why. I feel like Uber would be treated the same way, even if she was, oh, guys, no, I didn't like how you stole my phone. Please don't do that again. They would still cry and call her aggressive. She can't win. Dahlia said, side note, Nikki, have you ever done a perm rod set on your blowout? I think it would look really good. A perm? Not on this fine African-American hair. Simply Simone said, funny how I just saw an ad for Bravo with Sai and her daughter while watching this. Oh, I love her dynamic with her daughter. I really, really do. Because Bryn plays gay for fun. And Jenna's probably, hoping that one day she's serious. That's what I was picking up, guys. That's what I was picking up. CHG said, I'm sure regular non-black Twitter was quick to remind her that she wasn't white. Probably. Listen, again, this is not my experience, but I do have friends who are of the mixed persuasion. You know what I mean? And they have talked about having to choose, feeling like they're having to choose, and just being really difficult, living in a dichotomy of two worlds. And that I can understand. Again, it's not my experience. My thing is, I just don't want you coming over here because it's popular now. You know what I mean? Like, no. And if you're gonna come over here, you're gonna stay over here. And you're going to go through the struggles too. And you're going to fight. And because you got a little bit of privilege, you're going to speak up a lot because you can do that. We can't. You know what I mean? Like, put the work in. Put the work in. So Steph said, being mixed races in America has to be stressful in a different way. I will never understand. Yeah. Very true. She got two kids. These said, question, is anyone else biracial? And do you understand a child being raised by one side and having animosity to the other side? I'm biracial in a sense where I am Black North Philadelphian and Black West Philadelphian. That's as mixed as I'm going to get. But I do understand, being raised by one side and one side not liking the other. I can get that. I'm not trying to gesso you, but you know what I'm saying? I understand. N said quite a few similarities between Bryn and Meghan Markle. Yes, they look so much alike. Not really in thinking that they are black until well into adulthood. Dating royalty. Yep, she did date somebody. She did date a royal. That's what I want to learn about Bryn. That's what I want to learn about Bryn. Toya.Star, thank you. Toya.Star said, Nikki.Star, you look gorgeous as always. Thanks, Star family, for supporting Nikki.Star. Thank you. Princess said Jenna was being a bit shady with the Uber hot comment and was comparing their actions at Anguilla to this. Does Uber do too much? Yes, but at Jenna's house, she clearly wasn't. She was being assertive. She was just like, now you invited me over here to hang out. You did not tell me that this was a filming day for you. I would feel some sort of way too. Don't say that I'm angry. I'm annoyed because I walk in this cameras and I don't have on my full glam like everybody else. She was right to feel some way. She was right. I do not know, but you don't play with people's phone. You don't play with people's phone. Princess said, Uba has a point. She stuck up for every single one of the girls, so I could understand why she came in hot on TV because none of them had her back and tried to push this weird narrative on her. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think so too, Jazzy. Jazzy said, is there a reason why Uba doesn't buck up with Sai? Probably because she knows she'll cuss her out. I didn't like that Uba tried to weaponize Bryn's trauma, saying, I don't know if because you weren't loved enough. Yeah, that was low. That was low. That was low. I think Sai and Uba do the same thing. They both know that they're gonna match each other's energy, so they don't do it. They don't go after each other. Momi said Irish people in Chicago too. They aren't docile. There's a part of the city that's basically a sundown town that's filled with Irish folks. A lot of cops are Irish here too. Yeah, and Philly, Northeast. I wouldn't call it a sundown town because we beat up racists at where I'm from. But it's just like, you just know if you go up to the Northeast, you're not going to be able to punk them white people. Them white people will fight back. Okay? So, you know what I mean? You're going to meet an Irish girl named LaToya. Okay? Like, they're a different breed up there. You just know they're going to give you a run for your money. Let me get my super chats and then we'll get into the article. Hey, Yamade, thank you so much for the super chat. Yamade said, hi, Nikki. I'm so glad you're not like some of the audience, some of the reviewers who overdo the Uber hate. Oh, really? I didn't know that. People not liking her like that. She has some stuff to balance, but the xenophobia is strong. I'm Nigerian. I know. Thank you so much, Ayamade. Ayamade also said, oh, did you mean to do it 3 times? Thank you. Ayamade also said, hi, Nikki. Although Uber was wrong with the glasses, Uber was already repressing anger from the phone stuff. Then Aaron came in with, don't say my name. Yeah. I don't know. People are not understanding that. Like, is Uber hot? Yeah. Right. But every time that girl flew off the handle, she was justified. Just because you would handle it differently does not mean that how she handled it was wrong, right? I would absolutely have handled all the situations that Uber was in differently. But that's me. That's me, right? And this is hypothetical. I'm not really in that situation. You know what I mean? So again, she can't talk to me like that, but I understand. Basically, AV bro, they were saying that it was Jesso, Aaron, and Sai, and they were just thinking, basically they were saying that they didn't think that Jenna would fit with this group because they're poor and they don't have no name. That's the truth. Like, Jenna is the one with the name and the money. And they just were like, why is she on the show? You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing here? So that's basically what it was. Uber was upset and was trying to be messy. That's why she quickly apologized and let it go. Tartar said, I don't watch these shows, but just seen a preview of the channel while scrolling on YouTube, and Nikki Baby saw the hair and, oh, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. My ideal cast, I would keep Jessel. I would keep Jenna. You need wealth. You need a name. Jessel is just a good character overall. No shade. If they come back, I don't have a problem with it. I would not keep Uba or Uba Sai or Aaron. Here is why. Uba was a main character and she clocked in like a friend of the show. She was never available, always at something, and really didn't open up. Now, the thing that really rubbed me the wrong way about Uba was the fact that she was dating somebody and we didn't know. Listen, I am always fine with people keeping their private life off the show. However, if it happens while you guys are filming, I think the audience should be privy because it just makes you a bit more interesting. If Uba had more stuff going on, I wouldn't care about the guy. But now it's just like you don't have anything, really captivating. Let's talk about the husband. You know what I mean? Like let's bring some things in. So for me, I wasn't like really wowed by Uba. I would, like I said before, I would want to bring in a land developer from New York City, somebody who grew up in the Bronx. I know Sai, I think she grew up in the Bronx, but I would want somebody who is like born and raised in New York City who does real estate. I want them talking about closing on new buildings. I want them talking about gentrification and how their neighborhood has changed. I want to go back to their old neighborhood and see the difference in that. I want there to be somebody on the show who talks about dating in New York. I don't want somebody to be like, I'm trying to get pregnant by a rich guy. I want somebody to be like, it's terrible to date out here. I am young, fine, and I got money, and it's still a struggle. I have to go to a matchmaker. You guys think that I have it all, but I really don't. I gotta go to a matchmaker. We need a socialite. That is New York City. We need somebody who has a socialite name. We need another Tinsley Mortimer. We need somebody who is of pedigree and who is also African American, because there is a very rich and wealthy African-American culture, hello, Harlem Renaissance, in New York City. Why are we not talking about that? We absolutely need somebody who is Afro-Latina as well, because that is also a very prominent character within the New York City scene. Somebody who lives in very different worlds that coincide when they're in America. I would absolutely want to see that, but I just don't know who would want to do it. Who would want to do it? They have so much going on. You know what I mean? Like if you really have money, you don't want to be on these kind of shows. I don't know why Jenna did this, to be quite honest with you. I think she opened up a lot, but I'm just like, I still don't understand why she did the show. I don't think we'll ever know. I do not think we will ever know. Lala Anthony would not be good. She wouldn't give anything. Lala, like, you know nothing about Lala's life. The only reason why you know stuff about Lala's life is because her ex-husband was messy. He was messy. He couldn't keep his holes in order. You know what I mean? That's the only reason why you know anything about her. I don't think that she is somebody. I think she's all about her career, and I do not think that she is about telling her business on reality TV. Not gonna happen. Not with Lala. Not with Lala. Oh, she'd be great. The Inventing Anna girl would be great. She would be great. I said that. I think I said that the community isn't prominent like that. And what I basically meant is to the African Americans, and I don't know why I did that, to the African Americans in New York City. When you think about New York City, New York City is known as, hello, Ellis Island. It's known as the immigrant city of the United States of America. Like Philadelphia is known as the first free city of the United States of America. Philly is all about freedom, but half the population is locked up. You know what I mean? So there are things that, certain cities and states are known for. That's what I meant. But there is a very rich and prominent community in New York City, African-American community in New York City. So yeah, I don't think I said that they didn't exist. I absolutely believe I said that that New York City is known for immigrants. I don't think I said that. So Steph, find it. Let me know. Princess says the Rhony cast was unhinged. Let's see them in their second season. I think Sai will be in her redemption arc. I don't know, may like her more. Listen, I'm all for giving them a second chance. all for giving them a second chance. She got two kids. Z said, y'all think a Belle husband would work? I think there are big names from New York City that are big in fashion that would be good on the show. Absolutely. But homophobia would be thick in the group. If you are not going to find wealthy women in New York City who are not homophobic, right? Like they're just going to say something homophobic, no matter how liberal or progressive they think they are going to say something completely ignorant, and it's just not going to mesh well. To put it simply. K Pratt, thank you so much for the super chat. K Pratt said it was Celebrity Apprentice. Kenya stole Vivica Fox's phone and tweeted this. Yes, this menopause is killing me. I can't think straight. I'm acting a damn fool. 50 just isn't sexy. And look at Kenya now. You see what I'm saying? Now, I would never age shame another woman. Baby, you will always see that moment that you tried to shade another woman for. Look at her now. Child. Thank you, K Pratt. Momi said in an interview, Uba said that she kept her relationship quiet because it was new. And with past relationships, she's talked about it, but it wouldn't last. She wanted to approach this one differently. Good for her. I don't have a problem with that. I really, really don't. I just think she needed something to, like, I didn't miss her, right? You know what I mean? She needed something, and maybe this relationship would have been it. It just needed to be something. Dahlia said, Nikki, we kind of did have a show centered around Black people, up and coming women in New York City. I don't remember the name, but yes, I remember that show. Yes, that's why the show actually was canceled, because she passed away. And, you know, they didn't find a way forward. It was actually on Bravo. It was a really, really good show. It was a really, really good show. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. You're right, AV bro. Let's get into it. So basically what's happening here, I saw Eboni K. Williams, her Instagram post, and I was like, girl, what is going on? So let me bring my banner down. She wrote, if you're silent about your pain, they'll kill you and say you enjoyed it. Zora Neale Hurston. Girl, what's going on? She did an article with Vanity Fair. She says Vanity Fair gives a glimpse of the reality behind The Real Housewives of New York, season 13. I speak publicly for the first time about the details and extent of anti-Blackness, N-word use, and racial hostility I endured alongside the show's Black crew members. Wow. So that was a mouthful. Then I clicked on the article. Now, this is a long article, so I'm just going to skim through it. Bear with me. On September 22nd, 2023, this Vanity Fair article is titled, so long, Inside the Real Housewives, Reckoning That's Rocking Bravo. Amid disturbing allegations, Bethany Frankel calls for a union and a whole lot of drinking. Reality TV's most popular stars are facing their demons. The housewife woke up in her own urine. She was still drunk from the night before when she had 3 drinks at dinner and another 3 or 4 with her co-stars. Then an indeterminate but debilitating amount of mezcal after her castmates went to sleep. The house had been fully stocked when they arrived. She was too hungover to care that she wet the bed and so sick she couldn't film, she told production. But people on set kept telling her she was fine. It was just the Mexican water screwing up her stomach. The same thing happened to them in Cartagena, Colombia, the year before. The van hired for the day trip pulled over so the housewife could throw up. When the crew saw what was happening, they rushed over and she said no to the help, but to document it. Bravo didn't wind up airing that footage. Production did bring in a doctor who gave the housewife a shot. She pulled down her pants on camera and took it while a castmate held her hand. If you go to the whorehouse, you're going to get effed, said another Real Housewife. She knows what you think, that if you sign up to be on Bravo's reality TV show, you deserve what you get, and she agrees. If we do this, it's at our own peril. We know that, and we don't effing care. They do it for money, in part more than $1 million a season for the highest paid cast members. But it's more than that. The second housewife remembers being a little girl and plotting in her diary to achieve public recognition. I used to dream that one day I'd maybe get to go on Jeopardy and I would have to put that in my obituary, she says. Now when she dies, she will leave this mortal coil having been a reality star. She's grown accustomed to cruel comments about her body and face, vitriol about her life, but she also has become accustomed to validation. Have I been put through the ringer, she says? 100%. Still better than my worst days withering away at a life of quiet desperation. When this housewife, speaking on condition of anonymity, secret, because she doesn't want to lose, I can't believe I can't pronounce that. She doesn't want to lose her nightmare of a dream job. Went to last year's BravoCon, a 3-day convention attended by 30,000 or so fans. She turned to 2 former fellow Bravo celebrities and she said, how can I ever be happy after this? This is the deal Bravo stars make with the devil. And there are many stars. There are currently 10 Real Housewives shows and about 20 other properties in the Bravo reality space, including Emmy-winning Top Chef and the improbable Emmy nominee Vanderpump Rules. The biggest series have 11 million viewers each. Network execs turned master of ceremonies Andy Cohen hosts Watch What Happens Live, a nightly talk show on which the Bravo celebrities and cast comes to play as Cohen polls the at-home audience with questions like, which housewife of New Jersey has had the better nose job? We're going to skip down to Leah. Bravo, which is owned by NBC Universal, distributes the series on cable and via the streaming service Peacock. Shows are produced by third parties like Benajay and Warner Brothers Discovery. Those partners have subsidiary production companies, including 51 Minds Entertainment and Shed Media. The production companies are on the ground during the filming of the shows. The stars are usually affluent, often poorly behaved people, mostly women, who either know they're ridiculous or don't care if anyone thinks they are. As Lisa Shannon, Senior Vice President of Programming and Development at Shed Media, has said, this is a comedy, but the material is not always funny. Leah McSweeney relapsed after 9 years of sobriety before her first season. Damn. On The Real Housewives of New York City. Her recollection of a 2019 cash trip to Mexico, described at the beginning of this story, is from one of the many interviews conducted over many months with current and former housewives, producers, and Bravo staffers about the things that viewers haven't seen. Racist language and behavior, the real world effects of making entertainment out of destruction, interpersonal relationships, the downside of fame, and substance abuse beyond the meme fodder that drives fan discourse. According to some housewives, Bravo should answer for breaking them down for storylines. According to those who are responsible for the shows, however, the cast are largely in control of their own destinies. During a panel at BravoCon in 2022, a Ultimate Girls Trip producers told fans that during the filming, cast members Marisol Patton started her morning with Cokies, juice, and vodka. The audience loved it. According to one housewife, the cast stashed water bottles filled with clear alcohol around the set, both to calm their own nerves, and they hoped to get one particularly volatile cast member crazy drunk. She felt like the producers hoped so too. It's just faster and easier, the housewife says, of trying to give the producers what they want. Cast members describe some producers of using big words, phrases written in large font on their phones, held up to redirect conversation. Former Real Housewives of New York, Eboni K. Williams, said she ignored one that read, "Bring up Sonya's drinking," referring to Sonya Morgan. Before a day of shooting begins, the production team sends out the beats of each scene, topics they've written and want to address. The following is a beat reviewed by Vanity Fair for an episode that was filmed in November 2020. Sonya is on a loop, and this abuse of pills and alcohol has been going on for way too long. Is there anything they can do, or do they need to just be there for her when she falls? When she was on The Real Housewives of New York, Frankel says, I was talking to producers about how we're going to bring up into the show that Luann's fiance is cheating on her. A person with knowledge said Frankel acted on her own accord, or a producer comes in and tells me that somebody is trying on a wedding dress when they're not engaged, and I bring that into a scene. According to McSweeney and Williams, producers did not suggest curtailing Morgan's on-set drinking, even as they instructed cast members to discuss it. Whatever has aired on the show is reflective of her experience, says someone who is familiar with production. Shed Media's current alcohol policy states, we have always strived to depict cast members as being authentic on the show. Therefore, cast members and cast members only make their own decisions. Off-camera interactions aren't discussed on hot sheets. Hot sheets are basically... Hello? Hello? Toya, you're calling me. Okay. No, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, try not to talk about it. Okay.
All right, bye-bye. All right, so that's all I can talk about. Basically, Eboni says, sorry, I got a call, I got to shut up. Basically, Eboni says that she experienced some racist things at the hands of Ramona, and then at the hands of Ramona, talking about saying things about the you can read the article. Making derogatory comments about Black people, and this basically forced everybody to make a decision on whether or not they wanted to continue to film with Ramona or Eboni. Yeah. No comment. Sorry, guys. I can't say anything, so we're going to listen to what you guys can say. Read the article, and there it is. Welcome to Hollywood. Anyway, Lomi said, yes, Eboni spoke about her experiences in a few interviews back when her season wrapped. She said, I ain't done. She got two kids. Z said, Leah, let me hear you because you reach sometimes. Multi said, Eboni did say on our podcast once that there was a lot that went on that she didn't want to talk about just yet. But she's talking now. She's talking now, and Bethany is behind all of it. What? No comment. Miss GG88 said, I think she's trying to say a nominee. It didn't look like that to me. Anonymous, yes. I don't know why I can read it now. Maybe because it's broken up. Thank you. Dahlia said, but Miss Eboni, would you have returned if the New York cast didn't boycott? It's giving Nene vibes. I think she would have. Who's going to turn down this really good opportunity? Who's going to turn down an opportunity? You tell me. Call me and say, shut up. Yeah, the article is Vanity Fair's article. It's basically Bravo's reckoning. Oh, MG, like live. Live and in person. My hair is fine. It just looks like this when I blow dry it. That, like, no comment, Star family. Oh my goodness. Right? I know she's glad she was watching this one. She got two kids. He said, Bethany ain't fooling me. She's trying to take out the old dealer to be the new dealer. Stay woke. Listen. You tell me, y'all. I can't say nothing. Anyway, let's end right here. I don't even know if I can keep this video up. We'll see. Malty said, Eboni realized a book not long after this whole thing. I'm sure she would have returned to promote her book. I don't know. Maybe she would have, maybe she wouldn't. Who knows? You guys tell me. Anyway, Star Family, let me get out of here. I'll be back to talk about a show that isn't on Bravo tomorrow. I love you all. Thank you so much for joining me. See you soon for something else.